Welcome to the part 8 of the chapter 3 Bipin Chandrapal, European penetration and the British conquest of India. This will be the last section of this chapter. Before going to this video, I will request you to please go through this video till the end so that you will have a complete picture of it. Further, I will request you to please like and subscribe this channel. This is a new channel. We really need your support. Now, so the Dalhousie and the policy of annexation 1848 to 56. So he was the governor. He was introduced as the governor general in the 1848, and governor general is like the direct power to rule for the India and have the control with the uh, crown princes. Okay, so he came with the determination to expand British as far as he can. So to expand the British Empire and the benefits of the trade to as far as he can. So the motive of the policy that expand the British export to the India. So they believe that export used to be affected due to the maladministration of their states under the Indian rulers. Thus, he wanted to capture those regions under the British through a policy called through an instrument called doctrine of lapse. So, what exactly is doctrine of lapse? So, in India, it was like the higher the like, let us suppose the king is there, and when he will die, his son will rule the empire. Okay, now British introduced a law called a doctrine of lapse. In the doctrine of lapse, it was that if, let us suppose, the king does not have his own son, that is a blood relation with the son, that is his own son, and if he is going to hire someone, adopt some child, so then that child will not be able to rule for the empire, and that child will and that empire will automatically fall under the British rule. Okay, so that is something called under the doctrine of lapse. That was called another doctrine of lapse. So annexation of doctrine. So under this doctrine, when the ruler protected estate died without a natural heir, his estate was not to pass to an adopted heir as sanctioned by the old tradition. Like by the old tradition, it was like this ruling will go automatically to the child, whether it is adopted or higher. But the British said, no, as per the doctrine of lapse, you will not be able to transfer your empire to your adopted hire. It should be your natural hire. Okay, it will, if it is not a natural hire, if it is adopted one, then it won't go to it, and it will directly fall under the British India unless the adoption had been clearly approved earlier by the British authority. Let us suppose if you had any authorities for that, then okay, they will be able to do. But no, if they don't have any authority, if they don't have any sanction for it, they will not be able to rule for the region. Okay, so the many estates, including the Satara in 1848, Dalhousie came only. Remember, say in 1848, Satara was captured, Nagpur was captured, Jhansi was captured. So that's why Jhansi, Ukraine, and everything was fought. War was fought. Those things we'll discuss in the revolt of 1857. So were annexed by applying the doctrine. Dalhousie were refused to recognize the title, and further Dalhousie refused the titles like the Nawab of Karnataka and Surat Raja of Tanjore, and also it was like, now you are nothing. You don't have any titles, you don't have any power, and it is like everything will come under the British. So the main power of him, the main motive of it was to just expand the British Empire and have a greater control. So Dalhousie also refused to recognize the title. Okay. So after the death of ex Baji Rao II, who had been the Raja of Vittur, Dalhousie refused to extend his pay or pension to his adopted Nana Sahib as well. Okay, so in the doctrine of lapse, it was like they are not going to pay money to their sons or the hire if it is not a natural hire. Okay, so Dalhousie was keen on annexing the king of Awadh, but it was very difficult for him. The key part of the Awadh was that after the Battle of Buxar, uh, Awadh, Awadh fall under the British. Okay, Awadh fall under the British, and after that, Awadh maintained a very good and disciplined relation with the British. It was like they never attacked on the British. It was like just they are ruling as the British said. Now, Dalhousie wanted. Awadh as well. But what he will do, what is the reason behind that Awadh will, what he will tell that why we are capturing Awadh, as the Awadh was the very obedient one for the British. Within the Awadh there were many adopted higher. So he made a reason that the king of the Awadh is unable to rule for the regions, and there are many maladministration present within his estate. Thus, British Empire will rule over the Awadh region. So that was the excuse that was made by the Dalhousie to capture the Awadh. Okay, so Dalhousie was keen on annexing the kingdom of Awadh, but it was difficult for him as it was one of the most disciplined and obedient to the British over the years since Battle of Buxar. The Nawab of Awadh had many hats which could be covered through the doctrine of lapse. So Lord Dalhousie hit upon the idea of alleviating the plight of Awadh, that is, people are in sorrow and sad with the rulers. It is true, people very sad and the sorrow, but the king that you have placed, they don't have any power. They are not going to address the sorrow of the people, because the ultimate power was lying within the British only. And that is one of the sarcasm part here, that Dalhousie made a reason that your people are in sorrow, very sad under your ruling. Thus, we are going to snatch your power and it becomes the British rule. But the reasons of that sad and sorrow was the British only, indirectly the British only, because the king that was ruling, they don't have any power. So the Nawab Wajid Ali Shah was accused of having misgoverned his estate and of refusing to introduce reforms. His estate was therefore annexed in 1856, and after that, we'll see that 1857 revolt will happen. So it was further true. People were really oppressed with our administration. Now, our were selfish rulers, cared little for the good administration or the welfare of the people. But in reality, it was true that they were selfish. Why they were selfish? Because they were selfish, they don't have anything to do to others. They have the power to do help with themselves only. Okay, so but in reality, these responsibilities were under the hand of British only from 1801. In the greed of raw cotton and the good market of Manchester goods, Lord Dalhousie took away the provinces of Nizam in 1853 only, before Nizam of Hyderabad was captured by them. Okay, so the interest of people were little too with the change happening between the British, and the British used to make any change as per the convenience only. So it is like British looks upon their profit, trade, and whole ruling for the regions. Okay, so that was whole about in the chapter 3. From chapter 4, we are going to start, and it will be the administrative organization, and the social and cultural policy. We'll see how much section will be there, and we'll try to make all the videos short and descriptive. I hope you have liked this video. Please like and subscribe. This is a new channel. We really need your support. Further, if you have any doubt, if you want any clarification regarding the videos or not, please feel free to ping on our Twitter handle. Thank you.